second best team here, but we will see what happens.
Second best team here. Do you agree? Disagree?
I think everything here is pretty strong. I think that I didn't want to play against was big because I have a lot of respect for them. I love the guys that play here. They are very humble people and legends. So, but you know, the game is a game.
And to both of you, how do you feel about your performances so far, being 1-1 and how your teams have played?
Overall, we're not so satisfied because we came out of the minor and we were super confident. We played here before, so we know like the setups and everything. So we kind of hoped for a 1-0. Even we played against Cloud9. Tengri was also shaky, but the good thing about our team is every time we lose, we learn like way much more than I guess in any other team, to be honest, because we have like minds like Gobi, and he analyzes our play like a lot, and I help him a little bit, and that's why we are even stronger now.
Just before I get to Zach, what exactly made the game against Tengri yesterday so close?
I mean, we exactly know what they're going to do. So we analyzed and we knew that this B executed B rushes, and we kind of had a game plan, but the game plan wasn't like so good. So we tried to keep our game plan, but it kind of failed. We could not hold the B rushes, but now we know how to hold them.
All right, Zach, and then final thing, just like I asked Kakafu, are you guys satisfied with your performance so far?
Not at all, actually. Our G2 match, as I told you yesterday, our CT side was very sloppy. Yesterday against Dignitas, we should close the game way earlier, and that was very, very close. We're going to play the same map and saw our mistakes and fix all of them. So I hope we can do better today.
There we go, guys. Best of luck. Shake each other's hands, and I will see you all shortly as you approach your booths. Paul, back to you.
Thanks very much, Paolo. Yes, the two teams with their final thoughts as they head into this matchup. We're back at the panel once more. We've got Natu and Moses here.
It's too friendly, wasn't it?
It was. I was going to say,
it's just
no fire.
You hate to
I
see
thought
that.
Config had lit the fire. You know, he had the match. He set it on fire. We threw some kerosene on it.
We even had some smack talking from Tengri earlier.
Yes.
If they're going to talk shit, why isn't everyone else doing it?
Yeah.
Pussies.
He actually walked up to me afterwards. He's like, "You think it was okay? I didn't go too far, did it?" And I was like, "No, man."
I think that's the trouble, is it? Half the time, these guys are too nice.
I
They're
was like, "You didn't go too far."
I'm scared of being horrible. When it comes to these two coaches, they're very different in terms of the way that they approach and what they give to their two teams, but beneficial in the same way.
Yeah, it's always about finding the right balance there in terms of just what does the team need. Some of them need much more, like we've seen, that father figure in Godsend.
Yeah.
It's more about that, not so much into the in-game stuff and analyzing opposition and into just taking timeouts for the team and trying to calm them down. So it's all about just finding the right balance.
Matt Vito's are ready, so let's put those up for you and show you where we've gone in terms of...
Oh, it's going to be cash, isn't it?
I was thinking Inferno.
It is going to be cash.
Nice, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
All right.
Which we said already shouldn't be where big go.
I mean, you can play it tactically, right? But I mean, if you think when you play a map tactically, you're usually going a little bit slower, you're a little bit more methodical and everything like that. And that's just going to expose them to the double up setup that Immortals is going to love to run. That was so successful yesterday against Dignitas as well.
Which they're really enjoying at the
SK
moment as well.
Previously at the DreamHack Summer as well. KNG just going ham, as Steele was saying in the interview as well. There's that danger going for them, so it's a big challenge for Big. No pun intended.
And now you know the map.
It's unavoidable.
I know, right?
Now you know the map. Has that swayed you one way or the other, or were you already convinced?
I was gonna pick Immortals pretty much. No matter what. I think they have too much skill. And the thing is, even if you have like the right call, you got to imagine, when you're really hurting in the skill areas, when the CT sides are going to be a bit rough. So I mean, I think we saw disastrous T side from Immortals yesterday against Dignitas, but I don't think we're going to get that same kind of defense. That wall's not going to be put up the same way. So I think Immortals should be able to handle this one.
Yeah, I mean, the only concern I would have for Immortals is the fact I was talking to Rubino outside, and they said they had a really good read on Immortals a lot of the time, the way they think they were doing on the T side. So I would imagine Gobi, and the crew is also going to have a lot of clues, a lot of ideas of what's going to happen, and it's then up to them to be able to adapt and do the right things at the right time.
Okay, let's say good afternoon to our new commentary pair. We've changed things up in the commentary booth right now. Good afternoon, gents.
Good afternoon, Paul.
How you doing?
Very good, thank you. Looking forward to this one. I think Cash is going to be a good map between these two teams.
Do you think it favours Immortals as the panelists think it does?
I think they're a stronger team, so it should favour them. But obviously we have the history of failing to get into the major, so is this the time they break that?
It absolutely is. We need them in it,
Always a
don't we?
factor, isn't it?
Yeah, we definitely need them in it, that's for sure. Righto, take us into the game, gents.
All right, thank you very much. I think Immortals, they're a stronger team. I still feel like, to me, it would be like a crazy upset. It would be a crazy upset if Immortals were to lose this one. I mean, don't you feel the same, James? I mean,
I think that they should be coming in. Well, they're coming into this as the favoured team, and they should be coming out of it as the winner. But it's easier said than done, especially in a best-of-1 environment. And in a Swiss system where you're playing a different team every day, you're not going to have all the time in the world to prepare for your match. So perhaps Big can keep Immortals on the back foot. That will start with economy, but a big open map like Cash, the double orbs are all but guaranteed here for Immortals. And both Henny and KNG are not to be trifled with when it comes to sniper rifles. So there's a lot to be done for Big, but then there's a lot to be done for Immortals. Again, the history of the previous major qualifiers will play in the back of their minds. It looks like Immortals will be starting on the CT side. God B, if you're Optic, who have crashed out of this tournament, do you make an offer to God B? Do you give him a blank check and say, dude, please?
I don't know with that, to be honest. I think it depends. I think it's very hard right now to understand where all the players stand on that team, because it might just be the players like, it doesn't even matter, like, you get in here. I want to get something new going. You could just need a fresh start potentially. I guess we'll see. Time will tell. However, I'm curious to see what Big's approach will be, being the tactical team, a team that has been playing some smart CS of late. If that's going to be enough to take them through to a victory against what is some serious firepower for the Immortals side. So kicking things off with a lot of utility here for the T side of Big. They've got Godby and Legia on lows utility. Now, will we see a smoke at the top of Highway? That's a really nice one. I enjoy that a lot when you see teams going over the boost. They throw the smoke on Highway, and they take over middle, and then the CTs rotate. They think, that smoke is supposed to deny us vision towards mid. We won't be able to get pickoffs, and then they just run through the smoke, and you close the distance. It's a really nice one, and I used to do that way back when. So it is a rush up middle. No smokes there on top of Highway, just going for the raw aim battles here. Bolts back against the wall. KNG offering some relief, but it's still going to be quite tough. There's so many T's flooding onto the bomb sites.
Only good for one kill a piece, however. Still just beyond the car, waiting for his teammates to rotate in and maybe trying to stop someone coming towards the forklift position, but indeed it'll be taking Legia towards that fork. Still a range advantage for the most part for these Immortals players, but they'll have to close the distance to try and retake this site. Still getting dropped. He's the one carrying the kit, so they might have to collect that later on, but first they need to find some kills. Forklift and main. A nice crossfire here for the Big team, and it's Lucas versus 3. Being pushed from the back, and that will do the job. Kiev to get the last kill of the pistol round for Big.
Right, so it's a force buy then, presumably from Immortals, or how much will they invest? Obviously, with 2 AWPers and a map like Cash, where you can very effectively run a double AWP setup on CT side, might see them actually holding on to quite a bit of money on a couple players, and that won't be the case really. Henny's going to buy, we'll have a scout here. He's going to have $800 left in the bank. Everybody else force buying though.
Can I just say shout out to PGL for having an overlay on camera shots that allows us to see who is buying what. It's been a long time coming.
It's much needed, isn't it?
Yeah, glad someone's finally doing it, because it's really hard to, even if we can see on our own machines, it's hard to keep the audience connected when you're talking about a buy and they can't see anything that's being bought. You need to have that visual, so that is much appreciated. Double Molotovs going towards the checkers area. Still will be forced from his position, but he still has a, there we go. Hello. The late one behind the box, he was baited.
And this is what we're talking about with Big, just playing tactical CS, trying to use a lot of Molotovs. You do wonder, though, if perhaps, using 3 Molotovs in that position, they didn't take the ground. Obviously, they were able to get the kill and they were able to free up those areas, but they didn't take them away. Immortals have 2 players in proximity on the B-bomb site, so they may very well understand that Big aren't going to go for B. So we'll see how things actually go here. Big perhaps going for the rotation after making it look like, okay, we're going to go B, guys. We're throwing all these Molotovs, to the CTs, that is. Maybe they can catch CTs getting that info play towards the A side of the map. However, Immortals have just been passive, just been waiting on the bomb site. So if that was the plan, it's not worked out. We'll see the remainder of the Molotovs used here to clean up some of the more annoying positions. You can see just the routine here from Big. Looks pretty smooth here, but you have to get the frags. And Immortals are taking, or rather dealing, quite a bit of damage to Big. Couple of very weak players here for them.
I really wish teams would push with like an extra 10 seconds on the clock, just in case something goes wrong. They're making their way with 20 seconds. We've seen rounds lost in that timescale, but just a quick note, while Immortals set up for exits, it's so important to have that Molotov towards the forklift position, as you saw go in that particular round. So especially for those of you at home who play cash, make sure you have a Molotov for the forklift when you come in for pushes on the A site. It can help so much. Very strong position for the CT, so the more you can take that away from them, the easier life will be for you moving into the A site.
Alright, so only a Scout and a Deagle. I wasn't quite sure if there was still Deagle, but yes, a Scout and Deagle to worry about. You can see it there on your screens. Very sexy indeed.
Can everybody please copy this? Everybody. That'd be great. Thanks. That'd be great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's awesome.
It's always keeping you sort of on track with what's happening at all times. Never disconnection. But yeah, I'm curious to see whether Henny can get something out of this. Scouts, obviously, they will be buying in the next rounds. KNG as well, or King, looking to move forwards.
Well, Steele said to us that it's something like KNG.
Yeah.
In Brazilian Portuguese.
And then somebody else said, I can't be bothered with this, let's just call him King. So, I'm not sure, or KNG, I'm not sure now where to go. Ooh, speaking of, he's going to go for a play here with the Deagle. Very nice, gets the headshot. And that's Legia dead. And this is somewhat troublesome. Imagine if Henny gets himself some luck here with the Scout as well. However, he is very out of position at the moment. All the way on the A bomb site. He's not going to get there in time. And now the B bomb site's been taken over. Henny doesn't really have an opportunity. I don't think he's had an opportunity in the last round really to do much with the Scout either. So, but again, he doesn't have any Kevlar and he will be buying next round anyway. So might as well go for it. Bolts picks up another kill as well, so there is a real opportunity here to get something done. Should Big reveal themselves? There's one reveal.
Ooh.
Going for the peaks.
So close to a headshot. Oh my god, he landed the shot onto Goppy as well. Through the wall. Who needs Wallen when you've got Henny? I've got no pun for that. But he may get some exits here. They have to face him in order to exit the site, essentially. So, is there a kill for Henny? Oh! So close, but not quite.
Really good damage, though, on both rounds. I think was it 2 kills in the previous round? I think it was. Yeah. Oh no, it's just 1 kill. Oh, okay, never mind then. Yeah, so I guess it's acceptable damage there from the Immortals side, as Big will be carrying in a Galil. I guess that's the only remnant from these anti-force buy rounds. Otherwise, they have the AWP on Kiev, or up onto KNG. I'm curious where we'll see KNG playing, if he's going to be walking around all over the place, or if he'll be fairly static with this.
3 players in B for Immortals. Do you wonder if we will see aggression from them? They are very far away if Big go for a fast play here. However, the bomb's been dropped outside main. Maybe Nex will collect it as he makes his way forward. So we've got some initial grenades, just maybe trying to bait some utility from Immortals. But as we can see, they've got some smokes and the odd flash. And that's about it for the Immortals side. KNG and Bolt on the site. KNG, he has the smoke, so he could re-smoke this if a push comes in from the T side. That would really make Bolt's life easier. The flash is there at the very least. Bolt's forced from his position, and surely the execute's coming in here for the T's.
Yeah, such a presence here now from the T's, but KNG with that further back positioning, able to pick up one, but the trades are fast, and this is problematic indeed for Immortals. Maybe even considering the save at this point, losing too many members too quickly, not enough damage done. A really good take of the bomb site there from Big. And again, this is the this kind of goes to show how dangerous Big can be when they're allowed to run their set-piece executions. And you do wonder, if Immortals need to play a more active style against Big, just so that they can maybe get a pick-off, maybe just pressure some grenades away from them before they get into this position where they can just go with the set-piece execution, which is where they're going to find a lot of strength, because they have a lot of drills on these rounds.
Get that smoke down on quad, man. Immortals were, with all that carpet of Molotov, what was it? Team Acer, right? It's like a Team Acer level Molotov execution onto the A sites. Like they were forced into no man's land. They were just standing around the smokes towards E-box, get the smoke down. They're not doing really anything to disrupt the execute of Big. It's like, okay, they've thrown their grenades and they're forcing us from these positions. Let's just move away, get the smoke there, ruin their day. Bolts was Molotoved out, but I mean, it would have helped, I think, because they were just in that round. I feel like Big just imposed their will on the A site, and there was basically no response from Immortals. So where can we stand? Okay, we'll stand over here. Run boost coming in. Look at that angle. Look at that form on the barrels, no less. Nice.
Yeah, that's really cool, and it's very effective against, if you expect. I mean, obviously it's not the case this round, but if you expect that to be an AWP on the CT side, holding an angle there, you effectively jump over the scope. Most commonly seen on alley on train, and then you obviously peek from a side that they're not expecting to see you from, and you get the pick off. So it's very effective in that sense. But I won't do too much here for Big just yet, but it is worth noting how smoothly they were able to execute that, especially as they were doing it sideways, or at least the player on top. So obviously a lot of routine there for Big, a lot of attention to the small details. As Tabson picks up the first kill of the round, first blood has been drawn, and the foray into middle is perhaps about to be with us, as we see KNG pushed away, and indeed Big now have middle. Or do they?
Or do they? Bolts answers back, but it's not the end of the world. Next is in mid. That gun is not retrievable for Immortals at present. The Immortals team, who are playing too deep in B at present, and KNG can rotate over there as well. Henny with the M4 in B. So as this push continues from Big towards the A site, perhaps Immortals just stay put, try to protect that rifle. Mid cleared out. Holtz with a lovely one dig. The molly's down, but he's got a smoke as well. That's not going to save him from Legia spraying through the smoke. So it might be a question of saving for Immortals. However, it seems they're interested in trying to get something done. Lucas moving forward. He's got nothing to lose. Henny with the M4 is another story. 2 versus 3 though. If Lucas can get a 1 dig, then surely it's on. But he'll go to rescue the other rifle that's been dropped instead. And Immortals will save what they can save. AK will be nice. And out of there. So 2 rifles probably saved into the next round for Immortals. Nobody moving towards car for Big. They'll be content with winning the rounds and having a clean sheet.
Really good round from Immortals, to be honest. Being able to take away 2 guns like this, get a couple kills, it's pretty much what you can ask for in a save round. And they are now going to have a lot more money with those 2 guns saved to get all the utility that they want. And again, what I would really like to see from Immortals is just for them to be a bit more proactive. Maybe go for that push on B storage. Maybe go for that push on A main. Maybe if you have a nice spawn, get the push on door with an AWPer. Just try to cause a problem for Big earlier in the round so that they don't get to just run their game as easily. And I think that's where you can find some success here. And indeed, we'll see some aggression into A main. So this is a nice call, I think, from the Immortals side. And now Big, although they have a fast mid take on hand, they don't have A storage just yet. The A main area, that is firmly in the grip of Immortals.
This corner is a blind spot. I wouldn't recommend trying to play it as a blind spot in a professional match, but you can face the wall there, and unless the T's check it properly, can be a free kill for you. So those of you at home, nice to get your knife out there, make some extra money. Immortals with a strong hold towards the A bomb site at present. Still only playing 2 towards B, and Big, they're not going to they're not going to refuse to approach A despite the control of Immortals. You see Legia lining up a smoke to throw off the arrow on the box through this door. That smokes off the quad area, but Big ultimately will want that to dissipate later on. Possession of mid. Bolt's looking to challenge in connector, but tabseN could do some big damage. Bolt's taking damage in the meantime, but nobody dead just yet.
This is a really cool way to adjust from Immortals, because essentially by taking away A main, you can see that it's basically just created a spot where Big are like, okay, what do we do here? We need A main. Eventually they're going to get it as they push forwards, but they don't have much time left on the clock, so I have to hold that fort. Nice play from Henny with the double. One more player on the way as well. Smoke, no problem at all for Henny. 3K for him. And now we've got Keeve in action with the AWP of his own. A nice tag there, going through the forklift itself as he tries to get these awkward shots to land. Can't quite do it though, and the remainder will be picked off. A good round, all in all, here from Immortals. I feel like as though they did exactly what they needed to do to tackle Big style.
Double AWP stand. Both will be collected for Immortals. Henny and KNG are going to be popping off. Now, in the last round, they were both playing on the same site, so I do wonder how they will switch things around, if this means someone's going to be playing out of position. Henny's got pretty much the best spawn possible as well, so he could really take his AWP anywhere. Could go aggressive B, could go through Squeaky, could take a peek in towards main. So let's see what he chooses to do. Obviously, lots of money on the big side after only losing one round. And indeed, Henny is headed over towards the B bomb site. So will he go for a Fox-esque play towards the front? Nope, not going to overextend. But he will be in position early. Keeve crab walking, not going to work out for him. More T's there, but do they really want to challenge?
So again, the interesting thing about this double AWPing, and again, we see the pick off here, which is fantastic, is that you do worry that it could cause them to play a bit too passively overall, that they may think, oh, okay, we've got the double AWPs, we don't want to go too aggressive, but hoping that with the likes of KNG, he's been described to be horror, oh my god, just absolutely ruining them in middle, but he's been described to be a very aggressive player that just has no fear, which is, I think it was Steel that described him that way in an interview, and I'm loving these interviews, by the way. I've got to say, they are awesome. At this event has been fantastic so far. Leggy is trying to make a play into the A site, but you can see that Immortals have essentially vacated the area completely. They want to make life difficult for Big. Maybe a bomb can go down, sure, but Immortals will be able to retake with their own grenades, of which they have many, as well as the full coordination of the advantage of the numbers that they have. And even pushing in his bolts to get the planter. Legia, they know exactly where he is. Surely he is not long for this world. The defuse is coming in. Legia knows that he can't stop that. All he can do is get some kills, but that is not going to be the case. Steel picks up the frag, and it's the second round for Immortals. So hopefully we keep seeing this aggression with these AWPs. Because if they just sit back and play passively, that could really play into Big's hands.
Henny, certainly not a passive player. So this is a crab walk from Keeve, but oh man, he just moved his scope away as well. Maybe thinking the angle was clear. So who knows? I think he might have had a, well, who knows what may have happened had he not moved away. Ultimately, he did. KNG taken down early in the middle area. Bolt's moving around the smokes, but his position might be somewhat predictable. It's a nice, well, it's not nice going on to next. All of 4 HP done. It looks good, but not quite. The Molotov missing the mark as well. Now tabseN could get flashed into the corner. That's exactly what's going to happen. Bolts, though, just escaping in time.
So this is, I think, a really cool opening here from Big, just to take mid very, very quickly. Obviously, KNG not able to really have impact in this round. And now they've got this mid spot, they've got to figure out, okay, we're going to go B or A. We need positioning to do that. That said, Immortals are trying to retake middle here. And this is the proactive play that perhaps they need to go for to really deal with Big. Now, does Lucas go for more? You've got to be so careful in this position. They are even on players at the moment, and Immortals aren't really in a position to understand whether or not Big are positioning towards A or B at this point. So it's very stressful to be reactive in this way. And it looks like Big will choose B, so that is going to be the really big test here for Steel. Can he delay? Can he hold on to this? He has a smoke and a flashbang. And that's all the utility he has to work with. His teammates are very far away.
Oh, he's chosen to throw the flash at the front of the sites as well. Can he hold the kills? No, just good for one. One rotation here already from Lucas. He's got an opportunity while that smoke isn't there to make a push, but as you can see, Keeve is covering the angle. Lucas looking for it. Gobby making noise on the site, and he'll plant for his teammate. He's holding the angle, but he will fail. Gobby, he's got 2 to find, but Henny will take him out from the high ground. Now, I think Rops had an infamous performance on B where he dropped a smoke in front of the box where they're defusing and fought around that. And it can be used as a delay tactic at the front of the site as well, but it left Steel quite exposed. But he did get one kill at the very least and bought some time for his team to win the round once again. Timeout from Big.
Yeah, it did kind of look like he was caught out of position, and but at least he realized in time to actually be like, oh god, I have to just hold here and just go for a spray down. But yeah, perhaps a misjudgment, but it seemed to be enough as Immortals get 3 rounds now on the board. And Big, I've been enjoying their choices of rounds actually, how they decide to open it up and how they try to develop off of that. The only argument you could say is that perhaps one thing that they could try to do is maybe go for more of a delayed mid-take, because you can perform that with less players typically, and that way you can have more control over either A main or Endor or B storage. You know, it's really your pick at this point, because they are getting middle, but they are struggling to have players in position fast enough in either of those areas to actually get a split onto one of the bomb sites. Immortals have been challenging though, but it's been going kind of 50-50 for both teams. So.
Oh, look at this push through B. Lucas has made his way all the way through the smoke, but it seems that Big's response is going to be just as fast as Immortals' push. Looks like Goppy's lining up for a flashbang from his teammates. There it is. KNG, though, he's got the range, but he doesn't have a fatal connection there on anybody. Box has to find 2, only finding 1. So fast plays from both teams, but that's going to leave Immortals completely out of position.
Yeah, that's not a shot you can really miss in KNG's position. It looked like he went dead in the middle of those 2 players who were almost standing right next to each other. There was like a pixel between them or something similar. If you watch Lucas here, he will pick up the frag on the flank though. He will be spotted, and that's unfortunate for him. At least the kill is there. And he'll be starting to move towards the A main area. Tough for Henny though. Doesn't know exactly when these players are going to peek him. Now Lucas, they know exactly where he is, getting Molotov'd, can't win the battle, taps in quickly on him. And it really goes back to KNG's miss there. I think that was really the big problem in that round for that defense there for Immortals.
Henny was so patient, waiting for the forklift play to show as well. Of course, as soon as he looks towards quad, the peak is perfect for Big. I thought Lucas was on, I thought he landed that shot. In 1 versus 2, but not on this occasion. Keeve with he's got a very good spawn to peek mid immediately and try to stop a CT crossing towards the short box, but there's nobody in mid, and that's exactly the angle he's holding. But nobody there for the CT side, and that's going to help his teammates move quickly into the high ground and take the middle area.
And again, you can see that Immortals and everything around the last one as well. I think they're making really good plays. They're going aggressive. They're trying to take map control away from their opponents. And I think that is a necessity against Big, and it has been successful to allow them to get those 3 rounds. But of course, this is a really big round for both of these teams. You can see the money is completely ruined for everybody, so this round is worth 2. Nice frag from KNG there. The trade coming in from Keeve, though, onto Henny, who was watching KNG from distance. Now, how does KNG play this one? Looks like he's going to go for a smoke off here. Realizes that this player's behind him. There's the engagement. Flash comes in. Oh, I don't think he had bullets for the spray down. KNG gets another one though, and it is a 2 versus 3 with Tabs in very weak. This is doable here for the remainder of Immortals.
Avoiding the flashbang. I don't think they saw each other. Spots the player towards quad. There is a shadow advantage for the CTs on the retake towards the left of that area, but not on this time. Not this time for Steel. Spots the player jumping. 2 of the 3 players heavily tagged, but Lucas will surely feel like this is too much to ask. 5 rounds remaining for this CT side to fight for. No money in the bank for the CTs. So if he does die, then they can buy together in the future rounds. No kit for Lucas, and that bomb is ticking. It's been a while now. I don't know if there's one on the site looking away in the wrong time, and the round goes to Big. Who was it? KNG. He missed an opportunity when he was deep in towards main. He was fighting with Keeve, and Keeve pulled his Glock out after missing the AWP shot, and KNG was shoulder peeking. So he should have seen that he was fighting a Glock after that shot. See, the Glock comes out, and KNG he doesn't engage. Like, he just needs to go in there.
I didn't even catch that. That's insane.
Go in there and blast him, man. Go in there and blast him.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And he would have had an AWP. Life would have been good. Yeah, very sad there for Immortals. And again, I feel as though they've been making really good decisions as a team how to approach Big, but they just haven't been able to hit some of the shots they needed to hit. Big have been playing pretty effectively, doing what they need to do. Another anti-eco round from them. They have proven in this match and, of course, in previous matches that they know what to do in rounds like this. There's lots of drills. You see that Key Molotov next just having a field day there on the Kevlar-less opponents. And the round will be done. So
Oi, oi.
8 rounds for Big, 3 for Immortals. And I feel like the scoreline makes it look like it's not really been all that competitive, but I think a lot of these rounds have been very close, actually.
Immortals back on the bye. No AWPs though. Previous iteration of the Immortal side with an AWP was Henny completely naked. Keep looking for the body wallbang from T-Spawn. But nothing doing. Body hasn't been doing it himself recently. FM Pone did try to nerf it, but apparently it still works, or a form of it still works. The run boost again from Keith to look towards the B area, but it fails just off your cameras. As you can see, he has not gone anywhere close. So he'll do it the basic way, pop flash off the wall. Trying to identify the setup of the CTs. There's some clues. Still killing Tabson from the vent.
Suddenly you're just watching over middle. That's a good catch. The trade comes in from Steel though, and that does keep Immortals ahead on men as Big start to make their way into the bomb site. The bomb is down though, so they've got to be very cautious here how they actually approach this. There's a minute left. You think at this point they should just go back, grab the bomb, take a breather. Don't have to keep pressuring onto this bomb site necessarily. Using all the utility here as Godby as the bomb is now collected. But we have Bolts who's coming as well into the flank. I think he's been spotted now by Kiev, and he'll win the battle. That's the bomb lost. And Godby's still trying to open up this bomb site. But again, the bomb is being sat on at this point by Bolts. And yeah, I would have loved to have seen them just go back for the bomb there as 2. As they had a minute left to play with, and it was a 2 versus 3.
What's great about this overlay is that you can see, despite winning the round, Immortals are going to have a worse bye than Big. So this is a big round, no pun intended, for Big to win. I can't stop saying Big anymore, Dan. To try and close out the rest. I mean, we could see, if Big win this, we could see an 11-4 half, for example. Time will tell. Ooh, off your screens, Kiev is going for the wallbang once again, hitting Steel in the chest, leaving Steel with 71 damage. So that's a warning shot for the Immortal side. Immortals with strong possession of mid. They've varied their approach to mid. Sometimes they've had absolutely nobody there. Some rounds we've seen Legia holding angles towards this boost position. And I think maybe KNG was hurt because Nex is now holding an angle. You see the Molotov there. They will hear the damage and know that there was an attempt made by the CTs. But what is their response to this?
And that's really big too, because it puts you in a spot where you know, okay, there has to be 2 players in mid then. So if you know 2 players are in mid, you know, you can assume that, okay, maybe is there 2 on B, or is there 1 on A, or is it 2 on A and 1 on B? So that's something that you can know. Obviously, actually trying to go aggressive still. I like that actually. Even though they got Molotov away, they just go for it again when the Molotov dissipates. And now we have Big just pushing it onto the A side, not really caring too much. Taps it in a position to ruin Henny, and that's exactly what he'll do. Good flashbang there, blinding Henny, and the bomb can now go down. So a retake situation now for Immortals, as they have a lot of issues to deal with, Keith being chief amongst those. Warping from this forklift position. That's a very good shot there from Keith. Just 2 more to go, and there's no utility here to cover the approach of Immortals and either side to book it and to get the hell out of dodge.
They had 2 flashes, they used them, they had no defuse kit, they lost the player, and that is a wrap. I mean, 11-4 is looking like a quite reasonable, even likely outcome for Big at this point. They are on the hunt as well. Leg is already almost made his way towards the bomb site, but won't quite venture in. A timeout has been called, presumably by Immortals, trying to figure out what to do with the little money they have, and how best to, well, how to have the most efficient approach to the remaining 2 rounds. You can see their money there. 2 rifles. KNG's got $2,600. The rest, $1,500. So sucks right now for Immortals. They could drop some UMPs, Lucas and Steel, but they'd have no utility. So it is indeed a horrible situation for the side. So Lucas and Steel will opt for grenades instead of dropping those UMPs, and 2 of the 3 players will go for pistols. Probably the best of a bad situation for the Immortals side. Definitely don't want to go into a round on cash with no grenades whatsoever. Lovely snap there from Kiev. He's been good with the AWP today.
Yeah, that's his job as well. And again, I feel as though a lot of these rounds have been pretty close. Immortals will be having a very hard fight on their hands at this point. Only 4 rounds. They need to make it at the very least 5 or 6. We'll see if they can do that here. But still, they're playing the vents. He's going to smoke himself off, actually. So if there was to be a Molotov thrown in by the T's, it would just land straight onto the smoke.
I thought it might be a smoke trick or something, because that has to be... You see a smoke like that in the vent, you have to wonder what the hell's going on. And indeed, Gobby, smart man Gobby, is keeping a focus on that. So he's called attention to his team. They're trying some nonsense in the vents. They will wait it out. Smoke has gone now. KNG once again moving forward. This is a blind spot, and we can expect Big to focus beyond the box in main. So we'll see if that has something to do with the coming rounds. Gobby, I think he's smoking top of short or highway if you're a North American. Indeed, there he... Oh no, it's not. It's over towards car position.
Yeah, so just faking that it's going to be A here. There's 2 players on the site. Thing is that the KNG has pushed all the way to the mid warehouse, so he knows what's up, and the push is coming into checkers. Now they have to push onto this bomb site very quickly. Steel and Lucas, if they can delay. Look at the CTs here, just attacking around the perimeter. And the KNG with a run and gun gets himself 2 quick kills, and now it's just down to Gobby. The IGL is now very dead.
That is vital information for the Immortals side in a round where they were severely disadvantaged. Got the information, the rotation. The cavalry came in just in time. Last round of the first half. And that has destroyed the Big's economy. They've got 3 players on Tech 9s and 2 AKs, but tons of grenades. And we've seen that they've got the executions behind these grenades. Based on what we've seen towards the A-bomb site, I do wonder if they will be headed there with their Molotovs, of which there are 3 at the moment. Lots of smokes and flashes as well. And indeed, it seems the focus is going to be on the A site for Big. So I expect a repeat of the execute previously. However, the CTs have other ideas.
Yeah, going aggressive again. Love this from Immortals. Working a treat so far. Quick 2 kills for them in A main as the T's will shuffle their way in onto A. But even if they get the plant down here, big advantages on Immortals. They have 2 players in A main. The positioning is just really, really potent for this retake. It's a good smoke off actually from the T's. They realize that there is such a big presence there. But this is an unorthodox situation to deal with on a retake. You don't face this as often, where there's 3 CTs coming from A main. And you have to smoke it, take good positions. And of course there's Legia's on car, who could be quite crucial. Keith's still delaying on the bomb side as well, but they have now escaped Legia's angles, his vision. He's going to have to move closer potentially as the bomb is not planted for him, I don't think. They get stuck behind smoke. Steel could just go for the hold if he wants to. But there comes the Molotov. Steel gets the kill, but he has no smoke to dissipate this Molotov, and that's going to be the problem. So the round goes to Big. A 10-5 first half. A great first half for the Germans. The Germans.
The Germans. A hero play there with that Molotov. And that was quite ironic. Just before halftime, they reverse roles. And essentially, the T's were playing CT roles, trying to defend the site from a push from the T's coming from T main, so CT's in T main. That was kind of cool. Pistol time. On a 10-5 half, the pistol was obviously very crucial for both teams. If Big are to win this, then surely they close out cash, because they're likely to be 13-5 up. However, if Immortals win the pistol, then we could soon be tied up. Bolt's the one man with grenades for the Immortals side, the rest on Kevlar. And the same is true for Big, Legia being the flashbang, the fuse kit man. And it is a bum rush into the B bomb site, but Gobby, he'll get one at the very least. Keith down, Gobby still alive for a brief time, but soon gone. Headshots being deployed, both directions. Bomb needs to be collected and planted.
So it will calm down a bit with that smoke, just blocking all the vision, and Next waiting to get into position, or rather, I should say, Tabson and Legia waiting for Next to move into a spot where they can combine their efforts, where they can become a Megazord and attack in a swift manner. 3 players to find as finally Big go in. Looks like KNG will be the one to find the headshot though. Tabson drops, and these players are so low. Next on 1, now eliminated. Just down to Legia, but he too very low on the health, and he will fall also. So Immortals picking up the second half pistol, and that's going to be fantastic for them. That means both sides have won a pistol apiece.
I don't want to see double ops on a T side from Immortals.
No.
I don't want to see that. I think that's a step too far towards, you know, comfort of your players versus wise decisions. So I'm looking out for that on this T side of Immortals. But first comes the anti-eco round. There isn't a single Molotov on the Immortals team right now. In fact, they've gone deep into rifle territory, but not very deep into grenade territory, into clearing a site territory. tabseN has crept into main. He's by the lockers. And he may look to get closer into the blind spot position. Maybe even more worth going there as the grenade has just landed, but it also suggests that the push from Immortals will be very thorough. So it seems he'll be going towards the lockers instead. And Henny's now holding angles towards the locker room, in fact. But again, Immortals now are very light on the grenades, and they've only got 1 kill. And again, they've got no mollies when they push aside. And that's worrying to me.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast to Big, who were in the same position on the first half, just with, like, I think 5 Molotovs or 4 Molotovs. I think it was 4 in total that they had. And they threw 3 towards B and then 1 towards Forklift on A on that the second round of this game. But it's fine. Everyone is very alive and healthy and well, which is good for Immortals, of course. And another big difference too is that I believe Immortals on that CT side, they're able to save a scout and a deagle into the third round, whereas we'll see here that won't be the case. All of Big will be eliminated with all of their weaponry, but they did actually, not all the players invested fully there. So we'll see how this goes then. I mean, this should be another easy round for Immortals, and that's all it really takes. You know, winning that pistol, they should be on to 8 rounds. They'll have an interesting situation for their first buy versus buy. I'm curious what approach they think will be good against Big, because I feel as though they knew what to do against Big on the first half. Like, I think their style was spot on. They tried the pressure, they were aggressive. They tried to create a situation where Big couldn't run their executions, their drills as easily as they would have liked to.
Waiting for the, well, I say the inevitable, but Henny's taken a lot of damage. And now next is, oh, hello. P250 boys. I'm a fan of the P250. 10-8. We move on to the buy rounds. Kiev immediately on the AWP. On my laptop, I didn't even see him buy it. He just kind of spawned with it looked like. He's ready. And Henny will be the first to pick up a sniper on the T side. KNG there's a UMP on the floor for him. So maybe expecting a lack of helmets. And indeed, Kiev he's naked. Naked as the day he was born. AWP, no armor for him. And that's what we talk about when you get that forward spawn. Woo!
Oh my.
When you get that forward spawn on the T side, you can stop the CTs crossing. Lucas cheekily just walking through the smoke. Very cheeky indeed. And that's a free kill for Big.
Yeah, it's not a good start for Immortals. Oh, another one coming in there as well, as we see tabseN working his magic. This is a big problem for Immortals. Their initial picking into middle has not paid off. tabseN with this smoke. Oh man, it's so dangerous. Doing so much damage. That Legia finishing off Steel. Now Bolts has to go for a massive individual play. An individual effort that needs to be greater than just the single frag that he just picked up. Pressuring in though onto the B bomb site. He's managed to take some positioning there. Flash to go in, and there is a smoke there for CT, and a Molotov still on Henny to be thrown high as well. That'll be thrown up there now. So there is a really winnable situation here for Henny, and thank you. He's going for the plant at the back of the site. Yesterday, of course, we saw Fox not getting that plant, and that's what lost them the round otherwise. But Henny not falling for Fox's mistakes this time.
Henny holding the high ground. Bolts with an off angle towards T-spawn. The vent is unbroken, so he doesn't need to watch it just yet. 2 versus 3. The CT's biding their time. Henny's in a vulnerable position though, because they could make their way towards headshot, and there's no cover for him. Bolts now still towards T-spawn. Legia's made his way through the vent. They're dueling, but Bolts will win it. Here comes the push in the meantime. Henny close, but not quite on the mark. There's no kit for these CTs. Can he waste more time? Has he wasted enough time? No kit. They've got to run away. Kiev has found a kit. Oh my god, the diffuser might just come in. It's going to be a close one. No, run away!
He didn't make it, James. He didn't make it. tabseN made it though, and he picked up an AWP too. Wow, what a what a clue. I thought that they would actually maybe be able to pull that off, because you think, oh, if Penny just gets one kill here, it's fine. Then he just dies almost sort of immediately. Immediately he's running around the box. It happens.
I'm surprised Immortals won that round, considering how they started. Two very fast picks for Big, but they didn't close it out, and there might be some frustration on the face of a big player. Now, Keeve will have to be a big player for his team, as he's the only man with a primary gun in this round. Forward spawn towards the B bomb site will yield result. Perhaps they can go and collect that gun later on. Now, Immortals, do they try to dispose of that weapon, or focus on pushing elsewhere? They know the AWP is towards B. Do they push A? In fact, the AWP was rotating and now has been taken out.
Ooh, good headshot there from Next with the Eagle. Gun picked up by Tabson. AK in hands. He has Kevlar as well. Scary, scary business. Leggy has collected an AWP, 3v3 in this situation. Immortals have over a minute to play with. That's a lot of time. They don't have to rush this. They've got nades to work with as well. Anyone smoke though?
Oh, Next just got a massive one dig from Forklift into Squeaky. And there is another one onto Lucas. A collapse of a round from Immortals. It's so bizarre. Only had a AWP to contest. Got taken down, but then a solo push beyond Forklift looking towards Highway didn't work out for Immortals, and then it just fell apart from then onwards. Leaves them on the 4th spot, and here's the 1D from Next. Boom! 2 players coming in towards main. Big boy plays.
Henny has an AWP. We see a 4th spot here from Immortals. Just sort of teasing the shot there as KNG goes close. Big playing really passively there. If Immortals wanted to pressure in and use grenades to take checkers, it would basically be for free at this point. And that means that there's no information for Big towards B. The information for them is all around middle. That's what they're working with. And they'll rotate a player off of B as well, so it feels as though Big right now are feeling more pressure towards A, but it's still early days, and this would normally be around the time you'd see a delayed mid-take if a team did open up with a T default on the map. Usually the defense in mid gets a bit weaker the longer the round goes on. Ooh.
Oh, man.
Okay, then.
The bomb as well. Legia could throw a smoke deep into the corner of that box and just waste loads of time for Immortals. He pulled his smoke out as well and just chose not to, maybe because of Nex's angle, but really, they could make life a lot more difficult for the T's by just throwing a deep smoke. The Molotov is going in first. They'll move up, and they can throw the smoke into the Molotov, but still... There we go. See, so they've allowed the... That's way too late, man. The smoke is there, and they've allowed the T's to collect the bomb. I don't know why they don't throw the smoke there.
Well, it's Immortals trying to push for B now, trying to finish around there, but there's 4 players here from Big very fast to the approach. Next just goes for it straight away, gets immediately taken down by bolts. Now Tabson though, he's in a good position here, up high, going for some easy frags for Tabson. A nice double for him. 12-9 now. Big have destroyed the economy of Immortals, and again, I would certainly favor Immortals in this matchup. In a best of 3, I would absolutely favor Immortals, but this is, of course, the best of 1. And
that's a perfect shot.
Big have been playing this really well so far.
I just don't understand, like, why they don't smoke. Even after throwing the Molotov, the smoke pops instantly when you throw it in there, and then it does the smoke is behind the bomb, and it just makes life harder. They just let them take the bomb for free, essentially. And I mean, what if Immortals win some jewels towards the B bomb site? Then what? Then what? Either way, it is 12-9, and Immortals have well and truly been broken, as Dan alluded to. $2,000 roughly per player. You can see it on your screens, which is great. I'm still not used to the fact that people can actually see what's going on.
Yeah. I feel like these boots, man, or rather the kind of desk, like you're going to get sucked in to that. I don't know, like whatever's going on there.
Sucked in an ion cannon.
It's like a gateway to another dimension or something. Well, this is likely going to be the gateway to death here for Immortals as they go for the charge with pistols into the B-bomb site. Should be easy to be cleaned up here by Big. It's a bit problematic though, they're losing a lot of players, and all of a sudden, it's not just a lot of players, it's 3 players, it's a bomb planted.
Oh, man.
That is so clutch. That's okay. I thought the round was on, but I'm not sure if Bolts can do this now. With no Kevlar, he's got to plant the bomb. He has no mates. He got no mates.
Ooh, manages to reposition, but not for long. Aim punch, lack of armor. Worst case scenario ticked off. They did a lot of damage in that round with not a lot of investment. Bomb plant is a huge bonus. So we'll see what their money looks like. It will allow them to buy. 13-9. The fight is on. Let's see. Henny, he could go AWP, no armor here, as could KNG. I hope they don't both do it. Indeed, KNG picking up the AK. So, Henny, there we go. AWP, no armor. Yeah, Bolts knows, now he knows almost what both ends of that grenade are like. Got to watch his teammate be subject to it. Deployed one earlier on in this tournament. Keeve on the sniper for the CT side. See if Henny can avoid getting annihilated by grenades as he's got no Kevlar. Bolts very quickly into mid. He's over towards the vent position, throwing the Molotov towards the sandbags. Haven't seen it thrown from there before. That's quite nice to learn. So 2 mollies in the same place. That would suggest bad communication. Or maybe one missed. Grenades in response. Ooh, Bolt taking big damage, but mid is theirs.
Yeah, and this is a round we saw run by Big in the first half as well. Just fast mid take, really fast mid take. But then, you know, you have this problem. Okay, how do you develop it? You need to have control elsewhere on the map. Because if you want to do fast mid takes, you have to be prepared to fight at least 3 CTs. Ooh, we get Gobi coming back in from the vents though to get a pick off. And just as they look for Gobi, they just getting some damage in, but can't find a finish onto Steel. Instead, it goes down. So 1 apiece here for either side, although Steel is left on 6 points of health. KNG now trying to make a play up shorts, up highway, into that A site. Meanwhile, next, able to find a kill. Just constantly coming back into middle is Big. They don't seem to want to give it up. This is a lot of aggression, and it's sort of working out for them.
Oh! Damn. I thought I had gone the other way. Speaking of the other way, Gobi from the back. That's the bomb down, leaving Steel with 6 HP. Opportunities have come and gone for Immortals. Looking very mortal in this round. 14 rounds for Big.
It's kind of insane just the way that they kept re-aggressing onto the middle area, but they did it with pretty good timing, and obviously having a flank here, and a player in there, player in another timing, and you know they just sort of they created this situation where Immortals didn't really know what to do. Because it's not an obvious, like they need time to work that position. If you're just going to be on middle, they need time for KNG to make that play up short. They need time for somebody to get towards A or B storage. And Big never let them have time. And now they're 14-9 and Immortals are going with a force buy. And this is not a good buy. This is not a good buy.
I did wonder if they would play against match point. 6 rounds, perhaps too much to ask, at least from their perspective. 2 Galils. Deagle, no Kevlar for Lucas. They have some grenades, however. So right now, Immortals are showing presence around the map, looking for opportunity. Bear in mind, when you have no Kevlar, a grenade can kill you on its own. It can do 101 damage.
Yeah. It feels bad, doesn't it? It feels bad.
Yeah, so they're showing presence around the map, but this cannot last forever. Ultimately, they need to come together with what little they have and try to execute into one of these maps, one of these bomb sites even. The bomb is outside main. There's no lurker towards B, so that would suggest a play. Be a Big playing retake on the A site, next in a strong position to save his teammate. Immortals get weaker and weaker.
Smoke's down. Plant is the least of their problems. There's 5 players who are hurtling towards this bomb site. Might not even get a bomb planted at this rate. Lots of damage being done by Big. Bolt's tagged down to 17, last man standing. Can he get some extra money for his team? No, he cannot. 15 rounds for Big, 9 for Immortals. The bomb down would have been really nice to give them that $4,200 to work with, but instead it's going to be a mere $3,400 for them.
I don't think Bolts wanted to pull out a Molotov after faking a plant there, but Is what it is. Sometimes you press Q, the wrong thing comes up. A pause has been had. So they've got money for AKs at least, Immortals. Well, some AKs. Henny's bought... Okay, he's got money for armor. Never mind. I thought, whoa, he's AK no armor. This dude's crazy.
It's really rough, isn't it, as well? You want a couple of players here, I think, on Tech 9s potentially, or UMPs, because you want to have some grenades. And this is really a big problem. They have 2 smoke grenades. That's not a thing. That's not a thing for you to be able to work well with. That typically means you're going to have to play a fairly fast round, because if you try to play for picks with no AWP as well, then you're less likely to make it work, I think, firstly. And then secondly, if you lose players, and what if it's one of the players with grenades, then all of a sudden, how do you take map control? How do you get into sites? It's just, you just have to win raw aim battles. You never really want it to come down to that. Big have been playing some smart CS in this game so far. It's been impressive to watch them go.
Oh dear. Gobi taking Henny out from the back, holding down this area on his absolute own. He can move in for the reload, but he wants the ace man. He wants to finish in style, and maybe he will do, as 16-9 looks very likely. Lucas alone on 1 versus 3. Nice shot onto next, but he's left with 11 HP. He's got opportunity to pick up the bomb. But there are 2 Molotovs on the CT side as well. However, they'll focus on repositioning. Don't want to get caught in a nade with a nade in your hands, especially in 2 versus 1. Keeve delivering the last kill there onto Lucas, and it's GG WP. Big 16-9, a strong performance versus Immortals.
Absolutely. Again, smart CS. Immortals, for me, it's not even as though they didn't seem to know what to do. I feel like they really did play it pretty well. They were aggressive on their first half. When they were up against Big's T side, we saw some key rounds where KNG missed a couple of shots, and not to call him out necessarily, but for me it kind of made the difference in those rounds that he missed those couple opportunities, and then it sort of put the Immortals in some weird spots. They were unable to really recover against Big, so really well played as well for Big on that CT side too. They obviously lost the pistol round. There was a lot of play for Immortals, but at the end of the day, at the end of the match, it finished 16-9. So really a testament to how far Big have come so far, being able to 16-9 on Cash, one of the stronger teams in the major qualifier.
Yeah, and you wonder how far Big can go now, and maybe we will find out soon enough. Great performance from them. Lovely play from Gobi at the end, and it's always nice when the in-game leader is having a special performance. It's just great for the team as well. Sometimes the in-game leaders will fall behind on the fragging power, so it's nice for Gobi to just be holding down B on his own. Pretty cool as well. Obviously, camera on screen, he was pretty chill. So great stuff from Big.
Yeah, look forward to seeing some more from them and to see how far they can go. It's been a while since we really saw like a pure sort of German lineup, doing some big damage at the tier 1 level. So hopefully this is Big continue to go from strength to strength, and we'll see more of them. But I think the analysts are ready to go with their thoughts on the match, so hand it back to them.
Thanks very much, Dan. Yes, a good win for Big, a very strategical win as well, and perhaps that announces their arrival finally on the international scene. Let's find out from our 2 men on the panel. Jason, thoughts?
The major qualifier